All right, guys, we are live. Good morning. It is day 8, I believe, right now of the wake up call, the love you experience. My sis right now is in a very zen and peaceful place, and she is right now so tapped into her source that we wanted to give you guys something over the weekend to meditate on and really get focused on if you are serious about improving yourself first before you expect anything of anyone or any circumstance of the rest of this world. So I'm gonna start by asking her a couple of questions and enjoy. So Brandy, sis, I know you're the energy right now is amazing. My body is literally nearly trembling. My palms are sweaty because I know what's about to come right now. Like, it's about to be a major shift with this recording. So I have a question for you that I know a lot of listeners are probably wondering as well. What does it mean to be awakened? What is awakening?
Awakening. What awakening is unveiling truths, new perspectives of things. When you awaken, you're going to understand things that you didn't understand before. You're going to understand things in new lights every time you awaken. What you're doing is chipping away at ice. You're just chipping away at it, trying to understand everything you've ever done and why you've ever done it. And then all of a sudden you have a breakthrough. You break through that ice, and all of a sudden the veils, they drop. And you understand everything in this new light, in a way that you are not shifting and awakening to ascending into a new place of your body leaving this world. You are ascending into a new place of understanding,
Right.
of knowing what is.
Right.
If you insert what is into every situation you ever encounter, then you get the depth of what really is. That's when you get the understanding and the knowing of what is. So awakening is simply letting the veiling come down, searching and finding every answer within you, going inside yourself and asking source, what is the answer to this? Because it will always come forth into your life.
Yes.
Asking source to assist you in everything that you ever do, because they were always there, always knowing and always loving and ever wanting to help you in everything that you ever do. So awakening is a process that we all have to go through, because we all have to awaken to understand the things we have to understand in the later moments in our life.
Right.
Because if we don't, with our reflections come at us, and they come from behind us.
Mm-hmm.
The reflections that come from behind us are the ones that we reflect on.
Right.
The ones that we look at, and then we finally grasp the big picture of why it happened to us.
Right.
The ones that come at us are the reflections of us.
What we've already done.
Who we are.
Right.
What we are in that moment. What we focus on most.
Right.
So awakening is an understanding that you now know this knowledge, and now you have to use this knowledge in a way that it cannot allow you to do harm to others or to misunderstand others. So when you awaken, you are now knowing and have two choices. Do I take this path or this path? Because this path keeps me blinded, and this path keeps me awakening. This path keeps me knowledgeable. This path gives me fulfillment. This path over here, the one that I don't want, this path is giving me everything that I don't want. This path is the one that is most resistant. This path is the one that keeps me struggling. This path is the one that I fight every day, not knowing that I have to get rid of what I'm fighting, that I have to stop fighting it, that I have to start focusing on what I want and stay aligned with what I want and the vibration of what I want, my point of attraction. I have to stay aligned with it. I have to stay in that place to where I'm constantly learning and constantly understanding and constantly knowing of what I'm doing with clarity. That is the vibration you have to get on. And it's simple. It's simple to get to that vibration. I'm going to go ahead and answer the next question without you even have to ask it. The vibration we have to stay on is the vibration of happiness, the vibration of joy, the vibration of excitement, the vibration of enlightenment and elation, the vibration of pure bliss. The vibration that you get from that, you pay attention to your feelers, you pay attention to what's going on around you, and you find what makes you feel good. what makes you feel bad. And then you start spinning your wheels around what makes you feel good, and you stay focused on what makes you feel good, and you keep ascending towards what makes you feel good, and then you start to feel what makes you feel good, and then you start to bring forth all those good feeling things that made you feel good, and it goes into this vortex that you have. We all have this vortex of creation that we don't understand why you won't live there, because it's happiness, it's bliss, it's all the good feeling things. And when you stay in that vibration of your vortex, you get sucked into that vortex. But when you start getting off that vibrational alignment with that vortex, those good feeling, happy thoughts and feelings, then you get pulled out of that vortex. And it's harder to get back in there once you get out of it, because then when you're out of it, you're on these negative thoughts and feelings, and you're riding this car downhill that has so much momentum it can't stop. And you just keep creating more and more and more and more and more of the things that you don't want, and they just multiply and multiply in your life, and then you're left feeling alone and depressed and negative about every situation and everybody else. You feel that the people who have all these magical things happen to them, you wonder, like, why did they have this? What is the magic that they have within them? And the only magic they have within them is, one, they're awakened, two, they're aligned with the vibration of their vortex. That is all they have. That's the magic within them, is the understanding of all of this and the vibration that you align yourself with.
Absolutely. That was powerful. That was powerful. Had me in tears.
What we fail to realize is we have all the power in the world to do it.
Absolutely.
There is, think of it as a radio station, and you're tuning into your favorite channel.
Absolutely.
And that is what we do every day to stay in that vortex. We tune into that favorite that channel.
Right.
We get tuned in, tapped on, and turned on.
Yes.
To what makes us feel good.
Absolutely.
And we stick to that, and we grasp to that, and we consciously hold that feeling.
Right.
Consciousness exists within everything.
Right.
And when you realize that everything is conscious and you're conscious of it, then you start to understand everything.
Absolutely. That is the most powerful shift that I've ever felt, this close and up front and personal. Those of you that are at that higher level of consciousness that Brandy is talking about, I'm sure you felt it. Those that aren't, I'm sure you felt it, because that was powerful. That is everything that has allowed me to transition in the state of mind that I'm in and be fulfilled and truly happy in whatever comes next.
I feel there's a lot of people out there that are going to be listening, that are going to be hearing these words, that need to know how to, sorry guys, we have a little visitor.
Two.
Yeah, two little visitors.
Sky. Come here. I'm sorry guys, give us just a second.
Yeah, we got kids wanting to come join the show. So there's so many lost people out here that need to know that they're not alone, that they are going through these things unknowing that they are going through them. That is the sad part about all of this, is everybody's going through these motions, these cycles, not ever stepping out of the cycle that they were habitually raised in.
Absolutely.
And never getting to a place of knowing themselves, thinking for themselves, doing for themselves. It's all a habit of doing that they are in. And that's why they have such trouble awakening to what is really around them.
Right. Absolutely.
When you can get into your vortex and you can vibrate on that vibration of that vortex of creation, like I was telling you earlier, my body at this moment is going woo, woo, woo. You feel that vibration.
Yeah.
And the key is stilling yourself, like I was telling you a minute ago, observing everything around you to where you are taking in consciously every ounce of information that can pour into your computer of the mind.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, that's when all the pieces of the puzzle start coming together in your mind, and that takes you from one place to the next of unveiling. Because when you break through that ice, you're not just doing it one time. You're only breaking through one level of it to get to the next one. That's what our lives are about. That's what humans' lives are about, is breaking through the ice over and over and over and over again, and finding that peace and understanding that they need to have the happiness that they are seeking in this life.
To be unstoppable. To become unstoppable. I mean, that's what it's all about. To be so much greater than yourself that you improve others. Oh, give us a second, guys.
And now here comes number 3.
It's all love. That's all it is. The energy is at an all-time high outside.
Yeah, what can they expect? We're moms.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, that is so powerful.
It just needed to come out today. I just felt like there was a lot of people that were grasping some of the things that we were saying, but weren't understanding how to get to what we were saying, how to grasp what they needed to grasp to get to the levels that we're talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which actually brings me to my next thing. I have a guest that I'm going to bring on the line. We're going to call him a mutual friend. I've spoken about him before on the show. His intuition is something powerful. A lot of things that has transpired in my life, he's spoken to existence before I ever even understood it. And that is what, once again, being awakened to who you are and the power within you to share with other people and just magnify the most positive, uplifting, reassuring, inspiring, just amazing feeling in the world. Unconditional.
Guys, we got up this morning and all of us were vibrating at the highest levels I think possible. I think there is no higher vibration than what we have achieved this morning. And once you achieve these high vibrations, you're going to achieve more and more and more. The vibration you're going to get, you're going to fine-tune more and more and more and more as you go. So the higher you get with it, once you get to that peak level, and you're going to know that feeling within you. You're going to recognize that feeling. That's how you get your feelers, is recognizing the feelings that you have consciously and then going back to those feelings.
Absolutely.
Finding those feelings again. So as you're unveiling all your truths and you're getting all these feelings and getting those higher vibrations, you're going to recognize them as you go and go back to them. Those are the ones that are going to feel so good you want to stay there.
Absolutely.
So now that we have this highest vibration possible, we know this feeling and can go back to this feeling.
Absolutely.
And stay there.
Absolutely.
And when you vibrate high, you create fast.
That's real. True. It's live in the flesh. I can attest to that. But right now, the guest that I was speaking of, he just chimed in with us. Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, guys. I know many of you know Kevin Melvin on Facebook. Absolutely an astonishing human being. I'm going to just give him the floor because what he has to share with you is going to empower you like nothing else. Okay, so Kevin, you have the floor.
Thanks, Jazz. And good morning, Brandy. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful this morning. How are you?
Mega good. Like, whoa, just popped these 5 capsules in my head. It's spinning.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Mega good. That's where I'm at now.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a Thrive thing.
Yes, it is. Like, I'm ready to bust through these freaking
Y'all quit. I'm about to fire you both.
Don't get.
This is about awakening, not Thrive.
Thrive is awakening, girl. You gotta recognize.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Let's end that conversation. All right, Kevin. So, what do you have for these beautiful souls this morning?
What I have is it's mainly geared for the women, but men can try this too. It's just that ever since I was like 6 years old, I've like grown up around certain female friends that had like crazy low self-esteem. So knowing that, since I had that growing up, I always felt like, since a lot of men, like the really bash women, and a lot of women didn't grow up, with that confidence boost from a lot of men. About a few years ago, I was talking to a female friend of mine, and I can just tell, like, she was just going through a lot of self-esteem issues. So out of nowhere, before I even got off the phone with her, I was like, hey, I got an exercise for you. And knowing that she's pretty, like, self-conscious about what she talks about with certain men, I was just making sure that she was going to be cool with it. So I was like, hey, don't take this the wrong way, but I think this will help. And she was like, what is it? And I'm like, whenever you take a shower with that before you get, fully dressed, just, get your full body mirror and just stand in it for like 15 minutes, like butterball naked, and just deal with, just deal with every positive and negative thought that comes in your head.
Right. Because as women, it's real easy for us to just get a quick glance and run from the fucking
yes.
Yeah, it is. It's like, and that was one of her issues. Like, she never just, jump in the mirror and just
love yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, I figured, okay, it can start with her, and then I'm like, I got a gang of other females who have confidence issues. So if this can work for her, then I knew that, okay, it wasn't somebody else. So
yeah,
I told them like 45 minutes, get me back and let me know how she felt.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we was friends already for like 2 years, but every conversation with her was just always awkward sometimes when it got personal. When it was about business, it's fun. Personal, it's a little, awkward. So she hit me back in like 45 minutes, a completely changed woman.
Wow.
Right? And we lost contact for a while until, we linked up on Facebook about sometime last year. And she was just totally transformed. Like, it was no more awkwardness. We could talk about everything over under the sun, moon, and stars. And it's like, I reminded her that last conversation we had, what she did to make it true exercise, and she was like, yes, God, like, ever since that day, I just been a new woman, to where her mom doesn't recognize her, ex-boyfriends, her son's dad, family, friends, business partners are all looking at her like with this new glow. So they thinking, oh, she get married or pregnant or yada yada. And she was like, nah, she just stood in that mirror and had a spiritual awakening.
Absolutely.
And I can attest to that. Like, I would run from the mirror. I hated the mirror. I hated the camera. For so long, I would tell myself how ugly I was until my physical form portrayed that shit.
Yes.
And so I stopped. I shifted from that, and I started telling myself how beautiful I was.
Yes.
And I started looking in the mirror and falling in love with myself.
Yes.
And then now, like just this morning, every time I'm telling you, every time I pass a mirror, it's hard for me to walk away from it because I get in admiration of myself, be like, you fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And people, don't let anybody tell you that that's being conceited. That is loving yourself.
Yeah, because when you do that,
nobody else is gonna love you like that.
And not just that, if I could turn myself into ugly physically from telling myself that I'm not, I even have proof pictures-wise that show you my transformation from positively talking to myself, from negatively talking to myself,
right,
to positively talking to myself.
Right.
And the transformation didn't happen just within; it portrayed on the outside as well.
Right.
So there's many, many different things and wonderful things about talking to yourself in a loving manner, the way that God loves you.
Absolutely.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And it's crazy. You know what's crazy is because somebody just told me this morning that I was acting Hollywood. Somebody from my past, somebody that saw the other side of me, told me this morning that I was acting Hollywood.
Yeah, just because you don't love yourself don't mean I gotta dislove myself.
Exactly. And my thing is that it's not acting Hollywood, it's improving who I am, because I know that I'm capable of being better. And you know what's crazy is, this was the same person that told me that they saw so much potential in me, and that they see where I dumb myself down to fit in with other people or to be accepted by other people, and asking me, why would you do that? But now that I've overcome that, and now that I'm something greater, now I'm acting Hollywood. So my point in saying all of that is, you will never please nobody. I had to learn that the hard way. Yeah. Kevin, you've been my therapist through it. Yes, like, it has taught me, man, some magnificent things. Kevin, for sure, has taught me some magnificent things as as far as that's concerned. Sorry, I'm getting choked up because this is, like I said, powerful to know, understanding. Like, I can't even explain it. It's just,
you live on a different realm, and you sit back and you, sometimes you catch your ego going, what's wrong with these people? Why do they not wake up and see it? But then when you get ego to go away and you start to look from a place of love and compassion and understanding that you were once them, you were once in their shoes.
Absolutely.
And then you go to a place of teacher mode where you're like, okay, these are the steps I took to get from where you are to where I am right now.
Exactly.
And then you put that hand out and assist them in coming to that knowing.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to come to it overnight. Nobody comes to it overnight. Nobody understands it the first time they hear it. It's gibberish to them. Absolutely. Their spirit hasn't yet awakened because it's been so compressed by society to keep it down.
And tormented by their own self.
Yeah, we're taught to torment ourselves.
Yeah.
Isn't that some bullshit? Yeah. We're taught to torment ourselves.
Yes, and that is what I was speaking on yesterday about education, and it doesn't have, there's not one form of education. There's not one form of doing anything.
My thing is, in education now in schools, it's all about bullying people and cliques and fitting in here and fitting in there, and nobody ever feeling like they fit in at all.
Right.
No matter what clique they're in or what clique they fit in, they are just fitting in to fit in. They're not them.
Absolutely.
And so we're taught from a young age that you're supposed to fit in. As parents, we're taught as kids, we're taught to fit in, right? We become parents, and then our children want to wear this or do that, and we could be consumed by what others think, and then all of a sudden our children become an embarrassment. And then you're like, self-check. We're like, self-check. My child, what the hell? Why am I trying to please you? Why am I trying to impress you? That's my flesh and blood. I don't give a damn what you think.
Yes.
My child can embarrass me all they want to. It doesn't embarrass me.
Right.
And that's where people get caught up. Like people are like, my children have to have the best of this, and they got to be dressed up in this, because if they don't, people are going to make fun of them. You're just adding to the problem by being consumed and fearful of the problem.
Absolutely.
You have to stand up against the problem.
That's real. That's real.
Sorry.
Man, that was real, raw, and unfiltered. That's what it is. When people wake up to that realization, imagine the entire world thinking on that level of importance. Like, that's crazy. But Kevin, I wanted to see if there was anything that you had left for the good people before we wrap it up.
Yeah, a few quick things, because I'm gonna make sure it's kind of quick, because you already know how long-winded I can be.
Yes.
I couldn't even get it out.
Alright, one of the main reasons why I started, encouraging the whole Naked Truth exercise was because I had a friend commit suicide on me in late 2010, and I used to reach out to her all the time. Like, she used to always, inbox me and let me know that she's going through this and going through this and going through this, and I used to just tell her all the time, like, yo, call me, because I ain't typing all that, through her inbox, and she wouldn't. And then one day she just dropped this hateful suicide note on my wall. I didn't take it seriously because it just seemed like more of a gratitude post than a suicide note. But I told her, I commented saying, hey, I don't like the vibe of this post right here, so either inbox me or call me. Never did. She just liked the comment. And then a few days later, a coworker had inboxed me telling me that she was sorry for your loss. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she was like, Jules had, committed suicide Friday night, and then they found out Monday morning. The coroner came in there, she was 3 days stiff. And I was just beyond fucked up after that. And I couldn't function for a month, because I've had friends get killed, die in car accidents, but I never had one commit suicide. So I was just beyond pissed and frustrated, because I've dealt with so many women who have low self-esteem and always stiff-arm people that want to encourage them every day, but they hold dear to people that shoot me down every day, and it just pisses me down off. So then on, I was like, you know what? I'm no longer biting my tongue. I'm going to encourage every woman I come in contact with. She can get mad about it. She can act like she can be mad at the fact that I'm not her boyfriend about it. You know, I don't care, because I'm just beyond sick of a lot of women falling victim to being weak, you know, or choosing to fall victim to being weak. So it took me about 2 years to really like do it, but I felt confident, and my friend Camille was the first one I hit with the naked truth exercise, and there's been like a few others. I even you know, encouraged Jasmine to do it, and I had another homegirl that I encouraged to do it early this week. So I just encourage, it's not even just for women, period, because it's a lot. I mean, it's for a lot of men. I just don't talk to a lot of men with, you know, self-esteem issues. You know, most of the men I'm cool with, you know, bodybuilders and athletes who are not, so they really don't have that confidence issue. But I noticed that it's kind of natural for certain women to be overly self-conscious, so I figured that it works better for them than men. But it started with me as a teen. Like, I used to make them so muscular and was just standing in the mirror with that. And I was a little vain at the time, so it wasn't like I was arrogant. It was more like I was just striving so hard to be physically fit, and I was already confident within, so I wanted to just basically show that on the outside. I wanted to be fit for a lot of things I was into, and I used to stay in the mirror all day, and not all day, but at times I would just stay in the mirror when I just check myself out, had myself in the stomach doing back, and my six pack was crazy back then, and my sister used to walk by just shaking her head like, look at this dude. You know what I mean? Cause it's like nobody else in my neighborhood really did that from a real inner confidence standpoint. They would do it on the outside, like, okay, I'm physically fit, but on the inside, I'm hoping to God that somebody gasses my head up and tells me I look good, because I don't really believe that
right.
myself.
Wow.
And for me, I didn't have that problem though. It was on the inside and out. And as a teen, I overcame that. Now as a kid, yeah, I was crazy, you know, low confidence. Like, I ain't had no type of confidence, but I was always ambitious to just achieve all my dreams. So
absolutely,
the fact that I was obsessed with being better helped me gain that confidence, because nobody encouraged me as a kid. Except for my childhood sweetheart who I met down in Florida.
Yeah, you know, you and I have had those conversations. I definitely can attest to that.
And, you know, she was like the first one to really believe in me. I ain't believing myself. And I'm like, this girl got to be crazy. Like, you know, what does she see in me that I don't? And she basically died for me through, you know, it's a little issue I can't even really speak on, but basically she sacrificed her life for me.
Wow.
And I felt like I would have been a fool if I would go throughout the rest of my life with not achieving my dreams, knowing that somebody put their life on the line for me.
Yes.
Literally. And
that's powerful.
It just made me do the same thing. And it's like, how can I not when somebody gave their life young for me? Because they was,
that is powerful.
In my mind, it was crazy enough to see something that at that time, you know, in the early, you know, mid-90s, that, you know, nobody else could see. I mean, a lot of people didn't even have confidence within themselves, and now being like the crazy new millennium to where technology is advanced, spirituality is advanced, but a lot of people just still stay stuck in that old school 1960s, 80s mindset where only a few are confident and everybody else is negative. And I just can't deal with that, to where people forget about that one main thing that's the true key component to growth and personal development. It's not
right.
It's not any type of audio book. It's not reading any type of book. You can do that all day, but it's like, what about that mirror?
Right.
I can listen to Eric Thomas all day, anybody else. You know what I mean? Brandy can listen to Abraham Hicks all day, and we can read from Tony Gaskins, Trent Shelton, and Napoleon Hill, and all these other influential figures all day, but what about that freaking mirror, yo?
Absolutely.
Because none of them is going to wake up with you. None of them is going to be in that room staring at you naked in that mirror. They're not. They're going to encourage you when you're down, but it's like, at the end of the day, they can say whatever to you. They can write whatever, and you cannot agree with that. What about that mirror? That mirror is going to be the ultimate confidant. It's going to tell you something positive or negative. And that's going to come from your own thoughts bouncing back in your face. Like,
Absolutely.
I stand in the, like, I'm looking in the mirror right now, right? I got this small little mirror I'm looking at. Got a fresh body and everything, but I got this small mirror I'm looking at. And I'm looking at this affirmation, my favorite one, saying, I will walk again, with this little cutout of the handicap sign, the equal sign, and the little pedestrian walking there ticket. And that's what I wake up to every morning now. And I'm about to be down there next month making this 4-year frustrated dream come true. I mean,
man, that's amazing.
It's just, I'm obsessed with not being down. I'm obsessed with spitting in people's faces when they spit in mine, telling me that I'm not going to achieve what I want. I'm obsessed with just laughing at people when they say, oh, keep crazy for this and being insane. But I've been called crazy since I was 5 years old. I've been looked at as like John Loco every time I say something that is prolific or smart and is above everybody else's, weak minds. The strong-minded is the weak-minded, and the weak-minded choose to be that because they're intimidated by the strong-minded. The strong-minded try to encourage the weak-minded, but they try to pull you down. And it's just like The Walking Dead. You're trying to survive, and a lot of people want to become zombies because they've been bitten and don't know how to cure themselves, so they like to get it. I'm going to just be a zombie out here because they're too scared to just keep being human and live life.
Right.
And that's not me.
Right.
And that's not you, Jazz. That's not you, Brent. And that's the people I focus on. I don't focus on these celebrities or these public figures. I focus on the people I talk to every day that are striving every day to be better.
Absolutely.
They don't have to be a billionaire. They don't have to put themselves in the camera. That's who I focus on. The everyday people that the public eye really don't know about just yet.
Absolutely.
Those are the people I'm motivated by.
I can definitely attest to that. We got to wrap up the call, but I definitely can attest to that. There's so many people out there that know you as that person that you describe. You know what I mean? And I hope that they get to hear this, share this with everybody out there, because the source right now is elevating what is about to transpire. The shift has already happened, so I want you to be a part of it. That's our time, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kevin, thank you for calling in. Enjoy your day. Brandy, do you have anything to say for him?
Just stay in your vortex. That's all I gotta say.
All right, take care until next time.